Once you identify the events you need for your campaigns and know exactly what information you want to track with each event, it's time to create your tracking plan in Encharge. Encharge has a powerful feature called Event Management. To access Event Management, click on the Events link in the top menu. Event Management allows you to see all of the events that have been received in your Encharge account, as well as to create new events and organize events into folders. So developers would call these your schema, the schema of your events. You can manually create events and define their properties so your developers understand what events need to be coded. Essentially, you will create your tracking plan in Encharge, and you will show all of the events that you need to be coded to your developers. And once they code the events, once they connect your app to Encharge, you will be able to see those events flowing into your account, and you will be able to test them using the event management page. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about the event management page and what you see on this page. As you can see here, this is a table of all of the events that have been received in the account. Encharge supports different types of events: segment events, JavaScript tracking, ingest API events, and even Stripe events. When you connect your Stripe account to Encharge, you will be able to see different Stripe events such as subscription created, subscription cancel, and so on into your Encharge account, as well as how many people have completed that event. So for each of those events, you will see the name of the event, the API name, the source, when was the event last seen. If the event was just created manually, but it was have never been received in your Encharge account, it would say that the event was never seen. And then you will also see a volume trend of when the event was when the event was received. So to create your first event, click on the blue plus sign at the bottom left, click on Add Event. You will see a pop-up that asks you for information about the event. The API name and the event name, you will use the event names you defined in the previous lessons. So for example, project created. Also keep in mind that developers might change the API name later, but all you need to know to use your flows, to use events in your flows, is the name of the event. So let's say we're creating the project created event. The name would be project created. Oops. Project created. Use the description to define why this event is important. Critical aha moment in our app. And then the source of the event. For now, if you know what way your developers will use to track and send data to Encharge, then you can define that source. Otherwise, you would just choose whatever, for example, site tracking, and then the source will be changed to the right source. So when you create that event, you will be taken to the event page. So on this page, you can see a lot of information about the event. So let's explore one of our existing events so you can see some real life data. So let's say, for example, we look at the signed up event. On the left sidebar of the event, you will see information about this event, such as the details about the event, the source, when was last edited, when was last seen, and when was first seen. So this is when the event was received for the first time in Encharge. The total number of events that have been received, and also the number of people that have performed that event. Under the usage section, you will see how many flows is the event used into, and how many segments is the event used into. You can archive the event if you want to, or change the event if you click on the description. If you click on the edit icon, so you can change the name and description of the event. Now, in the main section, we see an overview such as the activity. So this is a graph that displays how many times was the event received. And you also see a feed of the recent activity related to that event. So who has performed the event and when. And you can also click on show details to see more information about a particular event. At the bottom section of the overview, we see the properties for that event. So those are, as we explained in previous lessons, additional details about each event. You can edit each property and also delete each property. For each property, you would see the type of the property, such as, for example, number, a string, or something else. Example value. This would be helpful to show your developers what type of information you want to track, and also the path. Now, if I click on the activity tab, I will be taken to the feed, the exact same type of feed as the overview page, but in this case we see also the activity, not only the latest few activities, but also all of the events that have been received in chronological order, grouped by the days. Then on the property section, we will see a full list of all the properties. If you have a lot of properties, this will be a more convenient place to edit and create new properties. And on the flows page, we would see the exact flows that actually use that event. This is very handy, as we can see, for example, when is the signed up event used. I can see that we currently have the segment events flow currently active that is using that event, and also a few flows that use that event that are currently not active. And we can also see the segments that use that event as a condition. So this is extremely helpful, as I can see if I edit this event or delete this event, or for some reason if this event stops flowing into my account, then I can see which segments will be affected, which segments will stop working. And as you can see here in this particular case, we do have plenty of those. We have 11 segments that use the sign up event as a condition. So if something happens with that segment, with that event, the segments will stop working. So this is extremely helpful, as we can see a lot of information about every event that is in our account. So the main goal again of this step is to manually create the events, and once the events are manually created, you will share them with your developers. And when your developers call those events and data starts flowing from your app to Encharge, you will be able to test those events, see how many times those events flow in, how many events were performed, who is performing those events, which segments are using those events, and so on. All this important information, which will make your life way easier and would help you tremendously in creating your behavior-based campaigns.